guys, welcome back to Hatsput Economics. Hatsput. And you know what, guys? I can see the future. I can predict the time. I can see your future. Okay, the reason why I'm so happy is because when I did my first extreme feminism is not for black women video, I got attacked. I got attacked from white women, black women, purple, yellow, you name it. I got attacked. I had no idea that Pamela Anderson is an anti-feminist. I had no idea that Pamela Anderson called out feminism and declares herself an anti-feminist. I found this article, and she's basically doing Pamela Anderson versus feminist. Pamela Anderson versus feminist. Pamela Anderson versus feminist. And I'm super happy to see this. And the reason why is because it always gets validated when a star, or I hate to say it, someone that's not a minority goes along with your opinion. So for just for a quick recap, I've been talking about how extreme white feminism is not for women of color. And the reason why I say white is not to stigma the white woman, is because a lot of a lot of the really liberal feminist ideals, and to me, it's not even feminist. It's more of man-hating disguised in feminism, because feminism is supposed to be about voting rights, equal rights, economic rights, social justice rights. And a lot of the things that are happening right now has nothing to do with it. They're just stuffing everything in there and coating it with a broad brush of feminism, which is extreme feminism, while they get to ignore demographics like African American women who have 72% children out of wedlock, or African American women who are top victims of abuse, top victims of rape, top victims of homicide. As you're listening to Hatshepsut, as you're listening to my voice, there are over 75,000 black women missing. And if you're such a pro-feminist society, why isn't there any light shed on that? Jane Fonda also said that too. I did a report on that if you look at my other feminist videos. So I am shocked. And the reason why this is so prominent for me is because Pamela Anderson is a well-known sex symbol. If you're not familiar with her, she's famous for her role on Baywatch. Do 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 do. Remember Baywatch in the orange swimsuit? And she was one of the top sex symbols of our time. She graced the cover of Playboy magazine 14 times, and she was there, in the middle of Hollywood. So if somebody had to be harassed, sexually assaulted, sexually propositioned, she should have all the complaints in the world. But you know what it is? Women like Pamela Anderson realize if it wasn't for men admiring her beauty, if it wasn't for men, loving beautiful women, a lot of women in Hollywood wouldn't have a job, because a lot of them don't have that strong talent. All these actresses, they're not the Nicole Kidmans. Please. They're not acting. They're not killing the acting scene. They're just very attractive. And there's nothing wrong with being noted for your beauty. But you have extreme white feminists who think recognizing beauty is wrong. Who think recognizing beauty isn't great. So you have extreme white feminists who, want to keep everything androgynous. So let's go through this with me, because I'm happy. I am so happy that someone as prominent, as beautiful, as successful with her career as Pamela Anderson, she should be the one speaking against being anti-feminist, because she can claim she was sexualized. She can claim that she was used for her beauty. This is someone who I would listen to in that subject, because she lived in that world. That was her entire world. She was on the cover of Playboy. She was in the Playboy mansion. She was being, utilized for her beauty. So she should definitely have strong sentiments to say in favor of feminists, but she's not. So let's go over this article really quick. Yes, I love when I'm right. All right, so the article says Pamela Anderson calls out feminists and declares herself anti-feminist. I told y'all this was coming, son. All right. So it says, here at Brainstorm, we grow to love the mind of Pamela Anderson. All right, we don't care what you think. So let me get to the stuff. Especially with her recent comments declaring herself an anti-feminist. Yes, Pamela Anderson is a mother, a beautiful woman, plus an activist for animal rights, PETA, plus a devoted purveyor of justice and the love interest of Julian Assange. For all the right reasons, who many identify with being CJ Parker, the Baywatch babe. Remember she was in Baywatch? So if you don't know her, this is what she was known for. Like, men used to go crazy for her. She had boobs, blonde hair, baked sun skin, like orange, whatever. She was famous. So Pamela Anderson, she's 49 now. And she basically started off with saying that uh, she doesn't think things should be androgynous. So I'm just going to read it to you. Pamela Anderson, 49, who recently dazzled her during her appearance on the Cannes Film Festival red carpet, came out and said exactly what people all over the world have been begging for, stating that men and women have different roles to play. I believe that too. This cannot be more true, since men and women, in our view, are the only two gender identities that exist, not the 71 gender identities that warped out liberal fascists claims to exist. So be what you like, but in the context of reality. So you know, that's what she's talking about. So now she's saying in an interview with Stellar, Pamela Anderson discussed her concerns over gender roles in society, which is entirely justified since the mass media keep on pushing this androgyny, which I agree, a bit too far. And we couldn't agree more. So this is what she said. Feminists to embrace being a woman, since clearly women hold a lot of power by just being happy as a woman without being full-blown men bashing feminists. And this is what's hurtful, is that you have the Nazi feminists taking over the core of the feminist movement. As a black woman, we're not anti-man. As a black woman, we're not anti-family, anti-loving your husband. Black feminists fought for femininity. Black feminists fought for not being seen as masculine. Black feminists fought for being treated with the same softness, the same affection as white women. Sojourner Truth, years ago when she got emancipated from slavery, wrote a speech called "Ain't I a Woman?" And she delivered it at the one of the first women's rights speech way back when she just got free from slavery. So that's a huge, massive move. No woman did that before. And when you look at the core of real feminism, they weren't fighting for this crap they're fighting for. They were fighting to be seen as women, to be appreciated. So, I'm a black woman, right? I don't equality for me no means I want to be seen white and treated white and approached white. Equality for me means I want to be seen as equal in my own African American, Caribbean, Afro Caribbean light, meaning that my culture, my heritage, my music, my food, the way I look should be equal to any other woman's, but I'm still uniquely different. Doesn't mean I want to be the same. The problem with extreme white feminists is that they want to be the same. The problem is that they don't want gender roles. They don't want to admit that a man's physically stronger. They don't want to admit that a woman has to carry a baby for 9 months. They want to completely destroy gender roles, and that's wrong. And they're speaking for all races of women when you have Latina women who are traditional, and you have Asian women who are traditional, and you have Indian women who are traditional, and you got African American women who are overwhelmingly traditional, who just want to get married and have a family. And feminists said, oh, we want women to have a choice. Extreme feminists say, but they don't really want you to. They want you to, if you disagree with them, they can be just as nasty or even more nasty than the men they claim are oppressing us. So let's continue. Um, Listen, this is what she said. Men get weaker in an authoritarian government environment. They don't need to be as manly. And women are working. Who's watching the kids? I may get some heat for this, but I consider myself an anti-feminist. All right. So she said, I obviously believe in treating people equally, but men and women are different for a reason, with very important roles to play. And this is what I'm trying to say. Extreme feminism has destroyed the heart of, girls getting acid thrown in their face in Pakistan. Girls getting raped at 10 years old in Bangladesh. Girls getting used for sex toys in Vietnam and Thailand for sex trade. It's very painful to me when I know women are getting raped in South America or getting traded for slaves in Libya. And you have white women, not all, because look at Pamela Anderson. I told y'all. Remember, I told y'all my extreme feminine video came out before this came out. And I want y'all to look at that extreme feminist video that I did. And I got heat for it. YouTube, I think they blocked it for a while. It took me a while to get it reviewed. And I'm not talking about making sweetened comments. But you have a right as a woman, if you want to be a mother, a wife, if you want to be a traditionalist, if you want to have a home, if you want to make your husband part of your world, that is equally right. But you should not make women who make that choice feel bad. And also, you have extreme feminists who are encouraging women that any contact from a male is wrong. Any contact that, is not in a, you know, very stringent environment. 16%, I said this in my other video, 16% of all couples, I'm not talking about boyfriends, talking about husband and wife, legally married, meet in the workplace. And now the workplace has turned into a war zone with extremities, with unproven allegations. Now you have consensual rape. Now you have regret rape. And these are all serious social topics that need discussion. And like I said, I'm an advocate for women's rights. I'm a black woman. I have no choice. African American women are disproportionately affected by every negative metric that you can think of, whether it's homicide, whether it's rape, violent rape, whether it's abductions, over 75,000 black women missing, whether it is domestic abuse, whether it's molestation. This is very serious for me. I grew up in Brooklyn, born in Kings County. This is very serious for me. So this is not me excusing bad behavior. This is me saying, hey, can you put the spotlight where it belongs on women who really need it? And then you have extreme white feminists, making extra noise where it doesn't belong. So this is a very important message because black women are dying. We're dying in childbirth. We're the number one demographic to die. We're dying more than 5 times more, and it's growing because people are ignoring our health crisis. We're having issues with HIV. We're having issues with AIDS. We're getting disproportionately infection rates. And these are all serious things that women's rights groups should be acknowledging. But it seems that they only acknowledge by color because the numbers are so staggering. The numbers are deadly. Okay, la mercy. The numbers are bad to the point where it is like it's astronomical. It's not like you can look at this data and say, I made an overlooked miscalculation. No, the numbers are it's epic. It's epic. It's like me walking to a room and seeing a million hamsters all squeaking with bright pink noses and close the door back. Hey, Connie, what you saw? Nah, I ain't see nothing, yo. Let's go back outside. It's like you can't miss it. It's a hot flashing red button. And the fact that they're missing it, Pamela Anderson's correct. She's an anti-feminist, but what she means, she's anti-extreme feminist. And I'm the one who said it first, and I got laughed at. I got made fun of. People were telling me I'm making it up. People were writing to me, people were writing to me saying I'm crazy. But, it's just crazy that it takes someone like Pamela Anderson. And if you look, when I was doing the search, you see there. Look at the feminist lazy video. Pamela Anderson is now an anti-feminist. Now they're attacking her, you know, and Pamela Anderson's defense blaming Harry Weinstein victims, and it just went all over. It's just all over. Pamela Anderson, why she calls herself an anti-feminist, and it's just amazing to see what's happening. And they're trying to drag her now. I don't know how, because she owns up to everything. She's not like saying, hey, I'm this perfect person. She's basically saying that if it wasn't for her looks, and if it wasn't for men admiring her looks, if it wasn't for men buying Playboy, she wouldn't have a career. So being seen as attractive, being seen as beautiful, it's not bad. So here's another article where you see her here, and you know, it's just crazy. Like, they're trying to make her look stupid. They put this thing in here. Anderson added that mention that drink from plastic bottles because plastic contains, estrogen, whatever the hell that is. But the fact is, they can't deal with the fact that someone is beautiful, someone who should have insight about the sexual. Because could you imagine how many guys came up to her, and she's still a beautiful woman. She's 50. I think she's still pretty, very attractive. Still has her shape. She looks good. And you can only imagine when she was younger what propositions and invites to hotel rooms and invites to apartments, invites to cars parked in dark alleys, how many offers she got of condos and houses just to be their girl. And she says, I had to avoid all that. You make a choice. And women didn't like that. So I just want to talk about her being an anti-feminist. I am proud that these articles are new, the interviews are new, and before I saw this stuff, I called it out, and I hope more women like her speak up. And again, if you're a victim of rape, if you're a victim of child abuse, if you're a victim of molestation, if you're a victim of homicide, well, you wouldn't be alive because you'd be dead. But if you know someone who was a victim, of homicide, anything violence against women, I am an advocate. I am donating my time. I'm going to the hospital. If you're in New York and you want to link up with me, we can do volunteer stuff together. I'm doing stuff for the holidays. I am passionate about helping women. But when I see frivolous suits, when I see extreme white feminists getting attention for stuff that, it's not a true assault, or it's just not even that. They just take all the spotlight. They don't shed it on people who are getting missing and killed and murdered and raped and beaten and held prisoner. And the girls are missing here and girls are missing there. And it's just a hot mess. And I go into these urban clinics and I see women needing help. I see women needing resources and nobody's aware of it. So all the money from the charities it just goes over their head. It's a really serious situation. And check the receipts, check the receipts, check the receipts. African American women are disproportionately affected. We're only 6% of the population, but more than half of all homicides by the hand of domestic partners belong to African American women. So it's not like, oh, I'm making a deal over nothing. It's like every metric, Black women are saturated in that in a negative way. So I'm happy that Pamela Anderson came out. I'm happy she made those statements. Once again, I am an advocate for women, and I really believe that there's a gray area between overzealousness. There's a gray area between new age, people thinking you can do consensual rape, which is taking back consent after, or other stuff. We need to have this discussion because people are losing their jobs. People are losing their careers. And it's more than meets the eye. It's like Optimus Prime, more than meets the eye. There's a lot of stuff going on. When you see a woman like Pamela Anderson, who should have been like a freaking magnet for all this bad behavior. She was a Baywatch girl, like a Playboy mate. Like I could only imagine what the things were said to her, the offers were made. I could only imagine how many things she could have done, but she didn't do it. So I think it's really important to know the differences. I think it's a very controversial, but just like everything else, if you don't punch that chest, if you don't pat that chest, if you don't burp, you're going to have indigestion. And this country's going to continue to have indigestion until we pat that chest and let everything out and have a fair and open discussion. Have a fair and open discussion. If you don't like something, doesn't mean that it's illegal. If somebody compliments you and you're not receptive, doesn't mean it's assault. If somebody propositions you, it means they're a freaking jerk and they're an ass, but is it actually illegal? Is it illegal if a guy has a nice car and he opens the door and says, get in, and you get in and you have sex and you go home and you feel pressured because he was driving the car? Is that rape? If you want a promotion at work and the boss invites you in the room and says, hey, spend the night with me, I'll give you a promotion, and you have a choice to walk out that office, you have a choice to leave, you have a choice to report him. And you say, you know what, I'll meet you tonight, and you go and you have consensual sex, is that rape? These are serious topics. We have sons. We have fathers. We have cousins. We have uncles. These are serious topics. People are losing their jobs. So, as an HR director, I really want to tell you there's a lot of gray areas. It's not about legalities in private company. It's about perception. So if anything happens, it's totally up to the perception of the woman. If you say good morning, you look great today, and she runs to HR and she says, he complimented my looks and he said good morning, that you can lose your job for that. That can be sexual harassment. So it's not about a legal definition where you have to go to a lawyer and a judge. It's a private company and it's up to the perception. It's up to how that person takes it. So we need to have a gray area. Men and women are going to be attracted to each other. You can't expect men and women to work together for 8, 9 hours and not have any attraction. But that's what extreme feminists are pushing for this androgynous, look at me like a man. And that's their choice, but they can't push their agenda on everyone. And especially when the true women who need real rights, real protection, are not even getting served under this umbrella of extreme feminism. All right, so that's it for Has Book. Hatsput Economics. And like I said, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave your comments. Peace.